Yeah, so I guess people have been saying what they do. This isn't related to the story at all, but too far away? Oh.
If you can't hear that.
Oh, okay. Well, to repeat, I guess people have been saying what they do, and so I'm a woodworker. I make furniture, and so these are real. They do. Anyway, but yeah, okay. So my story. It was a little over a month ago, and it was wow. That light is bright. I should have brought my cap up. Anyway, so. Yeah, so everyone has friends who get married, right? So last month, people were having a nice little October wedding, and so pull a little Law and Order SVU. The names have been changed, blah blah, the place and all that. So let's call the bride and groom Tyler and Kirsten. I don't know. Let's say those are their real names, because they are. And I'd get too confused if I tried to do that. So. Anyway, so they're getting married, and it's a Sunday wedding, and so that's kind of crappy because it's you got work tomorrow. But that's beside the point. It was lovely. We go out. It was a little chilly. It was cloudy. The bride was freezing the whole time, but they look so happy. It's beautiful, and we're sitting there, and I didn't bring enough layers either, so well, whatever. We're all just sitting there, and so it gets done, and we go inside, and it's a little the cocktail hour. You have your and they decided to get kind of creative with hot chocolate and coffee, I think, but mostly hot chocolate. They got their little marshmallows, they got their little, s'mores and all that jazz. And so we find our seat and whatever, we're hobnobbing, having a few beers and having a few laughs, blah, blah, signing the book. So we carry on, it's a good time, It's a pretty small, intimate wedding, nothing too crazy. But, I'm always out to have a good time, and so we try to get the limited number of people our age, excited and into it. So I go down and I notice there's this, I go down for like my 4th, 5th, 18th cup of coffee, whatever. And I'm going up and I walk up and I notice, there's this cute little thing. I fill up my cup, nothing too fancy about that. But then I look over to the left and I see there's this cool little, not even little, like this tower of circular cookies. And so I'm like, that looks kind of good. It's appetizer hour. There's no sign. There's just like this tower of cookies. So, hey, I'll try that. So I grab the top and it's like stuck because there's this icing on it that like drizzles down. And so I kind of crack it off. It kind of crumbles and oh, you don't even know. And so I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So I'm carrying my little bits. And there's some pieces broken in the bottom, so I thought it made sense. So anyway, so I grab it and I go upstairs with my coffee in one hand. Maybe I was grabbing a cup for the girlfriend too or whatever. So and then I got my cookies in the other hand. And I go up and sit down. They're like, hey, that looks good. Where'd you get that? I'm like, it was right next to the coffee. And they're like, what? Like, you can't... That AJ, what are you doing? Like that's probably special cookies. I'm like, it's not special cookies. Who has special? This is the time to eat it. It's happy. You have cookies with coffee and hot chocolate. It makes sense. It's right there. There's no sign. There's nothing. I'm like, forget about it. So anyway, we go on. We have the meal, the toast, and all that jazz. It's a fun time. It's this, that, and the other, and. So then they have the recess or whatever. They do the speeches, the toasts. Don't they call it a recess? I don't know. They take go and have your smoke break. I don't know. So whatever. They do their pause or whatever. And so then we all file downstairs. I think it's before the dance. I can't really remember. And we all go for the cutting of the cake, And so I'm like, fun, They'll throw it in their face. It'll be all cute because they're playful, It's really original and all that jazz. So whatever. And so we go down, and there's a real wedding cake, over here that has their faces or whatever on it with the little signature stuff. And then over to the left, to the left of the coffee bar and whatever with the s'mores and all that jazz is this conical like tower of circular cookies. So, as an aside, you might not know this, but there's this interesting Norwegian tradition of you make this kind of almond cookie cake or something, and there are these rings that get smaller and smaller. It looks like those multicolored like tower toys, with anyway, for babies, whatever. And so then they do this like explanation for the crowd, because most people don't know, and like Kirsten, she's Norwegian, and they have a big heritage thing with their family. And apparently, there's this tradition where because of the icing, they get stuck together. And so what they do is, like, first thing when you get married is you go downstairs and one of you grabs with one hand on one side and the other grabs on the other, and you grab the top ring. And however many rings below, because the icing sticks it together, like you lift up together, however many rings come with is how many kids you're gonna have. And so I'm just like, I'm looking at my girlfriend, like, just shaking my head, like, this is not gonna go well, not gonna go well. And they don't know anything, so they do it, and it's like this big event, like we're all watching, snapping, whatever, and they do their fingers together, and they grab, like, they lift up, and it's just 2 rings, and I think I'd broken off one before, and I'm like, I don't want like 4 cookies, so I just put whatever was left. Apparently, it was 2 rings, and so the story is I end up eating at least 2 of their kids, and so. It's all fun games till you eat 2 of someone's kids. I don't know. So, yeah. And that's all I got. Yeah.